Who's more boomer, Barrett or Sid? I don't think Barrett's very boomer at all. He's very, save the planet, take things into his own hands. Like, he's very modern in a weird way, you know? Hey, you want to steal that right arm for me, please? Sid literally has a car and an AK-47 in his house. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that wins the argument on its own, but I think it does. I feel like that somehow just wins the argument on its own. Sid is the type of guy to close the fridge door with his hips. Oh no, I do that. The thing is, though, Sid also hates the quote-unquote government because he hates Shinra because they didn't give him the right funding, and so, like, he's also pretty anti-establishment. He just wants to do his thing. He doesn't want other people taking control, so... Yeah, Sid drinks tea, so... we all know where this is going. Obviously Australian. Alright, let's try this again, even though Tifa's hurt. Vote Sid. Confirmed British. I always found it kind of weird when fantasy games have, like, people that are based on certain areas that exist in real life. Like, you have a game where everyone lives on, like, fantasy islands, and then there's someone that, like, speaks in an Australian accent. You're like, wait a second. This is kind of strange. Like, it's fine. It makes sense. Like, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's, you have to let your imagination run on that one, but it's just funny. It's like, Australia doesn't exist, and yet you're somehow Australian. Those like anime waifu JRPGs, they always have like quotes that are like super meta, but half the time it's stuff that doesn't exist. They'll make some joke that's like, have it your way, and then you're like, but Like, fast food restaurants don't even exist in this universe. What's going on here? Oh, I forgot to change order. Well, I have a theory that Final Fantasy 15 actually takes place in real life because everything's boring and my car keeps running out of gas. So I think it's just real life. No! Thank you for the 200 bits, Star. Everyone has their own opinion of 15, and that's totally fine, but I will say 15 is nothing like Kingdom Hearts. I dislike when people say that. It's really nothing like Kingdom Hearts at all. For whatever reason, when 15 came out, people said like it's an action RPG, so it immediately became like, oh, so it's Kingdom Hearts. There's zero relation between the two. Like, nothing at all. It's completely different. Like, I'm not even willing to make an argument on that. It's nothing close. Now, you can maybe make the argument that if you dislike Kingdom Hearts, you might also dislike Final Fantasy 15, because they're both more action RPG than the other games. Like, you can make that argument. But if you're making the argument that Final Fantasy 15 is similar to Kingdom Hearts, I can't get on board. Yeah, for sure. If you prefer turn-based, then you might dislike 15 and Kingdom Hearts. Like, that I totally get. But saying that they're similar is too far. There's nothing similar about them. 15, you hold down circle and watch things die. And your movement doesn't matter. And it's basically a turn-based RPG without turns. It's still an RPG where people take turns attacking each other and you can't really dodge things. It's just, there's no ATB bar that says now it's your turn to attack. Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG, it's completely different. She's gotta be close. I believe this is the first enemy in the game you can't sense. I'm not sure on that, but I think... I want to say she's the first. Maybe not. Maybe you can sense her. I'm not wasting a turn doing it, though. And a little bit more health and I could get another heal off. Dodge. Man. Might have to go back and get Phoenix Downs or something. Too much damage. I love 12, but there is this feeling that, like, it's hard to get into 12 for a long amount of time. You know? Like, there's something about it that makes you want to put it down once you get to certain spots, because it gets really slow during the middle. I think that's the issue. I think it starts off really strong, and then it gets really slow for a while, and then you beat the game, and the post-game's amazing. But there's this lull in the middle of the game where it's just like, this is boring. I mean, it's not necessarily boring, it's just the story's going nowhere, and it's not super exciting, and you just kind of get lost in it. And then it gets really good again, but sometimes you can't get there. I think the something's name is Vaughn. You're not wrong. Vaughn is terrible. Maybe I get another Dragon Armlet and give it to Tifa now that I'm just throwing right arms instead of attacking with her. That would actually fix a lot of problems. Zodiac Age is really good. The changes they made are really good. And I'm the type of person that refuses to use cheats until I beat a game. Like, I won't use ×3 or God Mode in Final Fantasy VII until I beat it, even though I've beaten it 1,000 times. Just because I don't think it's fair. But the ×4 in Final Fantasy XII is so nice. Like, the game is just so grindy and there's so much running around that having a little ×4 to get places quicker is so nice. It's just like the nicest addition. And the fact that it's ×4 and not ×3, like, you go so fast. So it's really nice. Really nice addition. As much as I hate to admit using it on my first playthrough, it's like, it's just really helpful. There's so many times when you, like, get to the end of a dungeon, you just have to run back to the beginning, and you're just like, I don't feel like walking all the way. Or you're in the giant city and you just need to go from point A to point B, or you're grinding an enemy for a specific item. Just ×4 it and get it done so you can move on. It's so nice. There's also a hunt where you have to stand still for 5 minutes, and I think the ×4 makes it so you only have to stand for like 1.5 minutes. So that's cool. Unless they change that hunt in the Zodiac Age. That hunt is so stupid. I still remember being so mad when I was a kid and I looked that up. I was like, are you serious? I don't think it's weird. I've heard a lot of people argue that, like, 12 is annoying because the game plays itself, but I totally disagree with that. It's your choice to do what you want with the stuff that the game gives you, so... I mean, it's almost like the argument that, like... I mean, I don't know. Like, if you played an old NES game and you use the Contra code and then you're like, this game sucks, it gives you too many lives. It's like, well, you did it. Like, I don't know. It's your fault this has happened. To me, the real way to play the game was always to use gambits for your 2 other characters and then control the 3rd character. And if you choose to set up gambits for all 3 characters and watch the game play itself, then that's your choice. Or if you choose to put up no gambits and play the game like a turn-based RPG, that's also your choice. But there's nothing better than listening to someone complain about Final Fantasy XII because it's an action RPG to make me laugh. Oh, please miss Yuffie. Great. Please die. Please die. Oh, he didn't die! Oh my god, I successfully ran away too. Yeah, it always frustrates me when someone says like Final Fantasy XII sucks. It's an action RPG. Like, dude, you literally have to go into the menu and select one thing, and it's a turn-based RPG. Like, just select wait, and now it's a turn-based RPG. Like, literally a turn-based RPG. Everyone stands around and waits for you to give them actions, and there's an ATB bar. Like, it literally turns into Final Fantasy VII. But most people don't get that. It's because, like, the characters walk around, so they just figure, like, oh, it's an action RPG. But, like I said, if you set the game to wait, everyone literally stands there and has ATB bars, and when they fill up, they get to attack. It's exactly like Final Fantasy VII. And if you turn off the gambits, then it's literally 3 people in a party. You might as well call it Final Fantasy VII 2. But a lot of people just play the game for 5 minutes and go, wow, is this an MMO action RPG with Final Fantasy in the name? Lame! But it happens. Like, I'm sure I've done that with a lot of games as well. Like, gotten a bad first impression and just never took it a step further. And I don't think 12 is a perfect game either. It has a lot of problems. But it really is a fun game if you give it a chance. The license system is stupid, I agree. But the Zodiac Age made it a lot better. One of the big things that Zodiac Age changed that really helps a lot. But in the original game, the license board was trash. And quickenings were also trash because they were way too strong. There's a lot of problems with the original game, for sure. The story being the biggest thing, but the license board was lame. Some of the areas were really grindy, and the quickenings were way too powerful. Yeah, you could beat 90% of the bosses by spamming quickenings before they ever got a chance to attack. Like, quickenings were basically Knights of the Round. Like, you could just chain together a ridiculous amount of damage for free. Yo, Corey with the gifted sub to General. Welcome back, General. 8 months. Thank you so much, dude. Have I ever played Earthbound? I've never myself played Earthbound, but I know a lot about Earthbound. I've watched many playthroughs of it and speedruns of it, and I understand its incredible amount of nostalgia and effect it had on its community. But I've never played it myself, and I'd love to play it sometime. I think Earthbound's gonna have to be a Let's Play series at some point. It's gonna have to be a Friday series. I think everyone would like to see that. And because I always do the Let's Play series on original console of the game, it would mean that we get to play an original version of the game, and that'd be really neat. Arabarius, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, the 2 months. Thank you, man. I don't know if Earthbound would really be my favorite game. I'm not like a huge fan of the combat, but it's one of those games you just kind of have to play. You know, it's one of the must-plays of the era. Its quirkiness and the effect it had on the game in, you know, I don't know about game industry, but it had a big effect on its community and the RPG community, and so it's just one of those games you have to play just to experience. Welcome back, Darth. Hey, how's it going, pet friend? You missed our use of your amazing picture. Okay. Unfortunately, I need to go get more right arms because I used some on the dragon. But after that, we should be good. We should be able to survive long enough to kill her now. Octopath Traveler is such a weird game. I'm glad it was made. I feel like we really needed like an awesome retro style RPG from Square Enix for the Switch. Like, it couldn't have come at a better time. But it really is an awkward game to get through. It's just got this really strange balancing act with its characters that's hard to like get through without either being way too strong or way too weak. But what I love the most about Octopath Traveler is it brought back this version of JRPGs that's very similar to like Chrono Trigger, where there's more you get to do in the battle. And I really wish more RPGs were like that, you know? It's not just select something from a list and watch it happen. Like, there's more involvement. Kind of like Legend of Dragoon, where like there's more stuff going on, and you have to kind of plan around stuff. It's not just use that really strong ability and call it a day. And also, the characters are, how do I say this? The opposite of Final Fantasy VII. The characters are extremely class-driven, and that's a really refreshing thing. Isn't that why I like Ni no Kuni? No, I like Ni no Kuni for its story and its visuals. The combat was fun, but it's second fiddle to the story. The story is just incredible. And the amount of work and time and effort and heart in that game just makes you want to play it. Makes you want to finish it. When you realize like how much is put into it. I hate Kate Sith, but I don't hate, I don't hate his story. I just hate his character. I don't know why I can't steal these. Well, they keep him in the party because they want to save Marlene. And then when he sacrifices himself, they decide to trust him again. Like I said, I like his story. I like how they use him. It's just his stupid face and his stupid animations and stuff I hate. Yeah, maybe it would have been better if Kate Sith actually died at the temple, or like the second one wasn't made till way later. Then it would have had a little bit more effect. Instead he dies and comes right back, and then the characters are like, we trust you now, even though that really didn't affect you much. I think maybe what would have been better is if Kate Sith died in the temple and was gone till like after Aerith is gone and after a couple things after that. And then they start talking about, like, you know, maybe Kate Sith wasn't so bad. Maybe we should have trusted him more. You know, he was just trying to do the right thing, and then he comes back. Then it would have been maybe better. That'd be a big bra moment, for sure. The problem is, they really wanted to focus on Aerith's death, so if they had Kate Sith's death going on at the same time, it would have, like, taken away from Aerith's death. So I think that's why they just have him come right back. These should not be this hard to steal. Aerith doesn't die till way later? No, she dies right away. That's the next thing you do. You do the temple, next thing you do is go to the city. There's not even any real side quests you can do at that point either. You pretty much have to go to the city right away. You could go back to, like, the gold saucer to hang out, but that's about it. I don't know if this is going to be enough. You could do Fort Condor for no reason, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of underlying themes with Kate Sith's death as well. It's kind of this theme of, like, he's a robot, but is he sentient, and does it matter that he's dying when he's just going to come back? And then he kind of says, like, well, this Kate Sith is dying, so you'll never see this Kate Sith again, and that means something. And so there's a lot of underlying stuff there. And then he comes back right away, which kind of sells the joke of, like, just getting him back, and so it's supposed to be kind of a humorous thing. And it's also, the timing of it's funny because Cloud is literally taken over by Sephiroth, punching Aerith in the face, and Kate Sith is like, "Hey, I'm back, guys. Did you miss me?" So, so it's like that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like this stupid comedy relief that falls flat half the time. Which, now that I think about it, maybe that's why they have that stupid scene when Aerith dies and he tries to, like, be goofy. Like, maybe that's supposed to be him falling flat again. So maybe that's why they did that. How's it going, Final? But yeah, that's kind of his character. That's what he's supposed to do, so it makes sense. But yeah, there's this great kind of interaction with him because no one really knows what to say. Like, it's not just Kate Sith. Like, everyone else feels the same way. They're like, are we sad? Like, I don't know. Like, so it's just kind of this awkward, like, I'm not really sure what to think about this. And then Kate Sith says, like, well, this Kate Sith is dying, so you can be sad because you'll never see this Kate Sith again. And so you kind of have this moment of, like, yeah, that is sad. And then the joke afterwards. I think it's, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite scenes, even though it's a strange one and you have mixed feelings about it. I think that's what's good about it, though, is that you have mixed feelings about it. You know, certain scenes in this game are good, but you don't really talk about them much because they're very cut and dry. Like the scene where Rufus dies to the missiles from Diamond Weapon. Like, that's a great scene, but we don't really talk about it much because that's all that happens. But the Kate Sith scene is something we talk about all the time because it's so mixed opinion. It's not cut and dry. Is it funny? Is it not funny? Is it sad? Is it not sad? What exactly happens? Do we care about it? Do we not care about it? So, I think that's what makes a good scene. Is that you're still talking about it now. You still care about it now. I won't lie, I'm kind of under the opinion that Rufus did die, but then they decided to bring him back for the movie. But like when they originally wrote the script, I think he was supposed to die. That's just my opinion. Thank God for the Protect Ring. Like, I always thought that they meant for him to die, because it just fits the narrative really well. His father dies and he takes over the company, and he says he's gonna be different, but then he doesn't change, and so that's like him getting his just desserts for what he's done. I use that phrase right. The expression meaning that which is deserved was originally just desserts. The phrase is the last refuge of an obsolete meaning of dessert, namely something that is deserved or merited. Yeah, kinda. Close enough. But yeah, he gets what's coming to him because he doesn't change, and he does the same thing his father did, and so I feel like it fits the narrative that he would also die. And also, there's some thematic purpose to that, because who kills Rufus? Diamond Weapon. What did Diamond Weapon come from? The planet. What was Rufus destroying? The planet. See the theme? There's so many hidden themes in this game. That's why I love it so much. Rufus dies to the planet because he was killing it. He gets what he deserves. He doesn't get killed by Cloud or the party or Sephiroth. He gets killed by Diamond Weapon, the weapon of the planet. And not only that, but the entirety of Shinra HQ is destroyed by the planet. Yo, Advent! Thank you so much for the 3 months, my man. Appreciate it. Actually, no. Advent gifted the sub to Final for the 3 months. I read that wrong. Welcome back, Final. Right, like I said, if Advent Children didn't exist, because he comes back, but I think that Rufus was supposed to die, because that fits the fits the theme of the planet taking revenge. Just like Cloud thinks he's an incomplete experiment, and then when he finally comes to terms with himself and realizes that he's himself and that he's Cloud and that he becomes a full man, what does he do right after that? He kills Hojo, the one who made him think that he was an incomplete experiment. Not only does he mentally defeat his demons and become a full man, but he defeats the guy that caused all of the problems in the first place. And that's when he becomes complete. Stop with the remake spoilers. Thought we already had this discussion. If you want to talk remake, PM me. I like Advent Children. I still enjoy watching it. But, it does have its problems. But it's a fun movie. I feel as if it's like the summer blockbuster of Final Fantasy VII, where it's like, yeah, it's got problems, and yeah, it's not the best, but just as like a sit-down and watch movie, it's fun. How is that a spoiler? It's in the trailer? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. What else would the spoilers be? The game? The game's not out. The only spoilers we have are the trailers. What's the difference between the 2005 Advent Children and the 2006 one? Not a lot. They changed the intro cutscene. But most everything else is the same. Yeah, the last trailer is super spoilery. It's kind of weird. I mean, like I said, it's good that they showed a lot of stuff, because that's what everyone was asking for. Like, we need to see more. We don't really know what this game is going to be like yet. And so the fact that they showed a lot, I think, was good. But if you don't want spoilers, that last trailer really shows a lot of the game. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't care about spoilers. I'm kind of mixed. It kind of depends on the game, really. Let's be honest, they aren't spoiling anything about a 20-year-old game. False. It's a completely different game. I don't know how many times I can say that. It's like 500% different than the original. It's a completely new story, basically. Based on the old story, but they're going way out of the realm of original story. The problem is that people just have different interpretations of what a spoiler is. There's a lot of people that want to go in the game blind because they want to be surprised when they see a new summon or see a new character or see whatever, and some people don't care about that. I, for one, would love to play the game and be like, oh my god, they put this summon in? That's amazing. Instead of being like, yeah, I saw that in the trailer. But I don't really have that luxury because I get 7,000 emails a day about every single thing that's in the trailer, so I can't not be spoiled if I try. And spoilers are spoilers regardless, you know. I just played Chrono Trigger for the first time last year, so those were spoilers for me, you know what I mean? There's never a time when spoilers are just off the table. Now, because we play so much Final Fantasy VII on this stream, I don't mind people saying, like, Eris dies and stuff, especially since we're in the part, you know, past where Eris dies right now. So we talk about that stuff a lot. But that's every other spoiler we try to keep out. No matter what it is, because it's just, there's no need for it. It's not funny. There's never a time when someone makes a spoiler joke and it's funny, so just don't do it. Like, I've never seen someone be like, oh my god, Dumbledore kills Harry. And we're like, ah ha ha, that's so funny. Man, that was a good joke, because it's a spoiler. Like, it's never funny, so just don't do it. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I got to have an amazing Chrono Trigger experience. Nobody spoiled, and I got to experience it as if I was playing it for the first time. Instead of people being like, well, it's an old game, so here's everything. Let me ruin it for you. Because it's an old game, and I don't care. Like, when you think about that and you say it back to yourself, you're like, wow, that sounds stupid. I played this game 20 years ago, therefore you must have played it. Is it spoilery to ask what edition of the remake you ordered? Okay, now you're just trolling. Spoilers from 20,000 years ago is called archaeology. Nice. We did it, and we didn't lose anyone, too. Good stuff. Yeah, that fight is not, not bad. It's tough. Well, when you're rude about it, why would I answer it? You know? It's not a hard concept. Hey, how's it going, Solid? Can you put Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order in the background? I don't know all your stuff back there, so let's just let you choose what to replace. Gotcha. We got the poison ring, but we're gonna lose it anyway, so not much matter. Nice. Do I need to get in this conversation with you again, Easy? This is like the 9th time we've had this conversation. I've told you on stream, I've told you off stream, I don't know what else to tell you, my man. I've had this discussion many, many times, and you always end up having it during a Let's Play, when I'm trying to focus on the Let's Play. When I tell you off stream, tell you on stream, there's not much more I can do, my man. Told you many, many times. Gotta put the old spotlight on yourself. Ooh! I'll take it. Hey, how's it going, Toothache? Because the end of the section should be up here shortly. I think it ends when the disc changes. Or, not the disc change. when we wake up as Tifa and Barret. Do you have any good times for Reflect Ring? There's some good spots for Reflect Ring. The cool thing about Reflect Ring is it's a permanent reflect, I believe. So you can do some like funny stuff with it, but there's not like a specific boss where it really helps. I would say the one really nice thing with Reflect Ring is Ultimate Weapon, because it'll reflect Shadow Flare. And he also always uses Shadow Flare on the person who kills him. So if you put it on the person that kills Ultimate Weapon, it'll always hit him and it'll help. But a lot of times you don't want to reflect it because you want to learn it. No, the Steam version gives him this stupid open mouth syndrome in like every cutscene. So, it's a Steam version thing. I don't know why they went with that. Yeah, it looks really goofy. A lot of people make fun of it. I think some of the model changing mods fix the mouth, because they just give Sephiroth a completely different model. But I don't know if anyone's done a specific like fix Sephiroth's mouth mod, or like that's all it does. Close your dang mouth mod. Is there? Nice. We should install it just for the meme. I want a mod where it replaces all the open mouths, but it gives them like something else stupid, like just a stupid like smile the whole game. Hey, how's it going, Keaton? Why can't I remember? Hey, how's it going, Caribou? Yeah, underrated song. I never hear this one outside of the game. It's really good. I know pretty much the name of every Final Fantasy VII song. I don't know the name of this one off the top of my head. Reunion. That's right. For whatever reason, that's never one that I go to when I make like videos or throw in Final Fantasy VII themes for stuff. Poor Red. I always laugh at this scene. Like, it reminds me of, like, a sitcom or something, or just, like, a goofy villain in some movie where like, he dupes somebody and they run away, and then he just looks at the camera and he's like, "Remember to bring the black materia." Mwahahaha. Just stares, like, right at the camera. Like a 1960s Batman villain. There's the Echo S mod, which has voice acting. That's been in the works for several years. That's Suna's baby. It's his big mod. It has a lot more than just the voice acting, but... I don't remember my first reaction to this cutscene either. I remember being, like, pretty broken-hearted. Like, wait a second, we lost Aerith, and now we lose Cloud? Like, who's left? Especially since my first time through the game, I think I got Yuffie, but I didn't get Vincent. So, when you lose Cloud and Tifa, you have, like, 5 characters left, 4 characters left. You're like, what in the world? Good lord. Everyone's gone. Like, we're gonna run out of characters and not be able to finish the game. It's an interesting spot in the game. It really is. I remember it. I remember going through it and just thinking, like, wow, this is unlike any other RPG I've ever played. Like, I have none of my characters. Especially since almost everybody buffs up Cloud their first time through. Like, Cloud's always their big, highest level, probably put all the sources into him. So he's like your big winner of all the fights, and then when you lose him, you're like, who do I use now? I mean, if you're somebody that uses Tifa and Cloud throughout the entire game, all your other characters, like, suck. If you go through the beginning of the game using nothing but Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith, then you literally have, like, level 20 characters here, and you're like, what do I do? The game's impossible now. How's it going, Kadaj? They really do sell Cloud dying here. Like, really well. I really thought Cloud was gone. Like, because Aerith's gone. So now, in my head, I believe, like, wow, any character could just disappear at any time. And, then when they go to see Cloud and the doctor's like, yeah, he's not getting better. You're like, wow, is he actually gone? Like, alright, while this cutscene plays out, actually I gotta go through a couple more texts, I think. No. I think we're good. No, we still have a few more. I love Hojo's reaction here, it's so great. There we go. Alright, while this cutscene's going off, I'm gonna put Jedi Fallen Order behind. And what should we take down? How about... well, actually, probably just put it right back here. I see it. Take the Doom bullets. It's kind of hard to see that far back, though. Maybe put it between the shoes. There we go. Sent me an email a month ago. Was wondering if you read it. For sure, but I don't remember what it was. I know I read it. I remember reading your email. It must have been something that I didn't need to respond to or something. What was it about? I remember getting an email from you, like, specifically. It wasn't a game donation, was it? Wait. Was it the... No. It wasn't this... Okay, it was a game. Yeah, I wrote it down. Yeah, I got it. Yep, I wrote it down. I remember now. This is the part that always confused me as a kid. Because it's not super apparent that it's a flashback. Like, you figure it's a flashback, but you have no idea, like, when this flashback takes place. It always confused me when I watched this scene until just recently when I really dug down and realized, like, what this scene's trying to tell you. For the longest time, I was like, I don't get this scene. See you, Magic Man. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you Monday. Hey, see you, Fado. Have a good weekend. Hey, how's it going, Dynamics? Good to see you, man. Yo, Toothache! Thank you so much for the Prime, my man. And you gave me an emote. A heart box emote. That's cool. Yeah, when he says 7 years, or when he says 5 years and she says 7 years, I was like so confused when I first read that. I was like, how does that make any sense? Then you go through it and it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot to that scene, but long story short, Cloud thinks it's 5 years because he remembers seeing Tifa when he was disguised. But Tifa doesn't remember that because she didn't know it was him. So she thinks it's been 7 years. There's more to it than that, but that's the general gist. And that's why Tifa doesn't understand what he's talking about, and then when he tells the story in Calm and says that he was there the whole time, Tifa's like, no you weren't. But she doesn't speak up because she thinks that maybe her own brain is playing tricks on her. And then that's what kind of causes the whole problem with Cloud, is that he thinks that story's real, and Tifa never speaks up. It's interesting to think how the game would be different, you know, if Tifa had just been honest. It's all good, easy. You betcha, Final. Shinra's not really... Like, at first they want to kill Avalanche because of all the stuff that happened in Midgar, but afterwards, it's not as much wanting to kill Avalanche, it's more of just blaming Avalanche so they don't get blamed for things. They kind of use Avalanche as a scapegoat for everything. And that's the whole point of this scene, is that they use Avalanche as a scapegoat to say it's their fault that Meteor got summoned. And so they try to publicly execute them to appease the people in Midgar to keep them on their good side. It's not necessarily they want to murder Avalanche. Like, they probably still do, because they still hate them. But It's more of just using them as a scapegoat. The interesting dynamic about this part of the game is that Shinra also wants to save the planet. They want to do it so they look good, and they want to do it, obviously, so they don't die. But they do want to save the planet. They just go about it in a different way than Avalanche does. And we're never really sure if Shinra's plan would have worked, because we steal all their huge materia. There is a small chance that if we didn't steal the huge materia, their plan would have actually worked. But probably not. So yeah, what I was talking about earlier, I can't really show it off now. But, maybe I'll learn it so I can show it off next week. But there's a skip here where you can skip like a bunch of the Sapphire Weapon cutscenes that I never knew about. And it's similar to the Midgar raid skip. It doesn't skip any gameplay, it just skips cutscenes, so it's actually kind of nice casually if you've already seen the cutscenes. Midgar raid skip no one does, because you skip the whole Midgar raid and miss out on debut item and all sorts of good stuff, but this skip's kind of nice because you just skip some cutscenes that otherwise you'd have to watch. But anyways, that's going to be it for Scavenger Mod today. We're going to be doing some Black Chocobo, showing off the pre-release for the new Black Chocobo here in a minute. So be sure to stick around for that if you're interested in seeing some never-before-seen pre-release stuff of Black Chocobo. And then after that, we're going to be working on Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. But for now, we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. So YouTube, thank you so much for watching the Scavenger Mod walkthrough. I hope it's helped you on your own playthrough if you've been going through the game. The new update is out. There might even be a newer one by the time this video drops, but a lot, like 99.9% of everything I ever wanted fixed is fixed in that new version. So if you did run into any problems, be sure to download it. Specifically, the soft lock at the end of the game, Barret getting locked, and not getting enemy skill materia when you're supposed to get it. All that stuff is fixed. So if you run into any of those problems, be sure to download the new version at sector48.org. And hope you're enjoying the playthrough. Hope you're enjoying the mod. And we will catch you next time for more Scavenger Mod action. Peace out.